Hi guys, Kim here, welcome to Backyard Blooms. Today we are going to fertilize and talk about fertilizer. So it is the first part of March, so this is time to fertilize. Of course I don't have any snow. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, zone 8. However, we are going to get some temperatures of really low temperatures still in the next couple of weeks, so I'm still not really out of the zone. Our frost date is sometime around April 15th, I believe, which just gives an estimate of couple 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after that time when you have like a 70% chance that you still might have a frost. But anyways, this Espoma fertilizer is a slow fertilizer, so it's still okay to go ahead and put down on your plants. That means it's just going to lay there until the temperatures warm up, I'd say in the 70s or so, and then it'll start really putting on a lot of that growth. So I have 3 different products right here in front of me, and I love Espoma. It is a natural compost, so it does really good for me. Everybody comes over to my gardens and they're like, oh my gosh, like everything's so green and lush, and that's well because I fertilize everything in my garden the first part of March. So right here in front of me, I have plant tone. So if you can't find anything on the market, and I do believe Home Depot and Lowe's or most of your like big box stores have this product, and it's usually in the garden section. So go into the garden section outside and look for plant tone. If you cannot find plant tone, I have a link to all these products into my description below. So just go to the description, hit more, and then you'll see all those links right there for all these products and every product that I use for my garden as well. And I don't believe the prices are too much different, and you don't have to go anywhere and have them delivered right to your house. So that's a win-win also. So plant tone is a good everything fertilizer for any kind of plant. So like I said, I do use different products for different things, but if you don't have anything, this one is really good for everything. So in Pacific, I like plant tone for all my evergreens. So I have a lot of boxwoods that I'm going to use this plant tone on. I also have Cryptomera, Yoshio Cryptomera trees that are evergreen, and I'm going to put this product, plant tone, on that. And then I also have my emerald green arborvitaes that I use it to. And I believe that is basically all. I did throw some plant tone into my raised garden bed along with some of the biotone, and like I said, you could use rose tone because everything that I'm going to throw in there is going to be do some majoring flowering, right? So even on the somewhere here it suggests what plant tone is good for. Let's see. And the directions are also really good too. So it says garden beds mix plant tone into the top 4 inches of soil at the rate of 4 pounds per 100 square feet. I just threw half of my bag in there. Honestly, you can't really overdo it. It's a slow release, so it's not going to burn any of your products. So if you're like, oh, like that fertilizer burned my product, no, that's not true, because this is a slow release and it will not burn no matter how much you put on it. Now, I don't suggest that you put the whole bag, like no one would do that, right? So don't do that. But for new planting, it says, of course, it tells you like how to dig your hole, and then you can replace some of it with compost, and it says mix 1 cup of plant tone into to help amend the soil also. I've never done that, but I've always used my biotone, and I think I've seen, yeah, it says that it has biotone on here too. Exclusive biotone formula as well. So if you don't have biotone, you can use this also, but I like to use my biotone. And for established plants, it says feed twice per year in spring and fall. If you can't do once, like always, please do spring at least. And of course for my roses and my hydrangeas, I like to do more because they're giving us lots of flowers, right? So they need, if you get lots of flowers, they need lots of food, just like we do. So you could put it in potted plants also, but I thought it said on here like what it was good for. I don't see that. I don't see it on the plant tone. But anyways, plant tone's good for everything. I like to use this on my evergreens. So sometimes you could just either open the bag and just, I usually use like some kind of old cup. I'm going to use this cup today. I just dip it down into the bag and pour it around the base of the plants. And then I try to mix it in with my mulch also, especially because I have my Sasha girl here. She likes to eat it, and I really don't want her to eat it because every time she eats it, she gets sick. That's no fun. Or you can like put the whole bag into a bucket also, and that makes it also easier to have access to it. Now I'm telling you, this stuff does not smell wonderful, but I guess that everything that's in this, whatever compost and turkey poop or whatever's in there, does a really good job at making your plants grow lush and green. And it gives everything that the plant took out of the earth, and you're just giving it all back, right? So that is my plant tone. Now, rose tone right here. I use this for, of course, my roses, and I do give this, my roses, more than spring and fall because they're giving me just so much flowers. I have the David Austin roses, and they're continuous bloomers. They just don't flush out into the early summer like sunflowers do, but mine are continuous bloomers, and they give me blooms from like the first flush is usually in, I'm going to say, the first part of May all the way until we have a time of the frost. So they're just, I just love my David Austin roses. I can't say much, can't say anything bad about my David Austin roses. So of course I'm going to use this on my roses, but anything that gives me lots of flowers also. So like my little lime hydrangeas, I will put this rose tone on it. My flowering trees, my crepe myrtle, my Yoshio cherry tree, lots of blooms, lots, of course, you know, they have that first part of flush, but anyways, they have blooms, so I put rose tone on there. And then what else do I do? Oh, my wadulas, they do a lot of blooming, so I'll put rose tone on that. What else? I'm trying to look at my garden and see what else that I do, but yeah, basically hydrangeas, roses, is for my rose tone. Let me see if it says on this box, on this bag, what it's good for. I know it says it somewhere. Let me just read to you what it says on this. Of course, it's from Espoma, E-S-P-O-M-A. It is organic. It says rose tone is a premium rose food designed to supply the necessary nutrients for growing prize-winning roses. It is made from natural and organic plant food ingredients and contains no sludges or fillers. The organics in rose tone break down gradually to provide a long-lasting food reservoir through the growing season. We also add biotone, a proprietary blend of microbes that biologically enhances our plant food to ensure superior plant growth. And because every ounce of rose tone is manufactured in our state-of-the-art solar-powered plant, quality and consistency are guaranteed. Use Espoma rose tone with the confidence that you have chosen the very best. Espoma, the most trusted name in organic since 1929. So the next product that I'm going to talk about is this holly tone. Hollies do really well here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8. So even here on the bag it says evergreen and azalea food. Of course, you know, it's going to be good for hollies as well. I feel like this has a little bit more acid loving in this product right here. So my hollies I haven't really had a lot of problems with my hollies. The only thing that I've seen in this area is that they do have some chlorosis, so I feel like that we lack iron here. So every time you see your hollies, if they're not real deep and green, they even have iron tone as well, but I feel like that one's even harder to find. For some reason, I don't really know why iron tone is hard to find. I can find that on Amazon. So iron tone, and then you can also find it in a liquid too for the iron. But if you see that your evergreens aren't really dark green and they're like getting more lime green, they're lacking iron. So I have one that I've been battling with, and when I turn the camera around, I'll show you. But it's like, it's really weird because at the base, at the bottom, it'll get like greener, greener, greener. So now that I'm at about a year into it, I'm like halfway up the tree. So it's taken a whole entire year for that one tree right there to get its way back to really deep green, which is really weird. So, but that's one thing that I see here in Charlotte, North Carolina, is that those hollies will turn like a real light green, and they need some more iron. But of course they need food as well. So that's what I do my holly tones on. So I have Nellie Stevens holly. I have my Oakland hollies that I use this product on as well. I have a few azaleas, so of course I'll use this on my azaleas. And if you'd like to, you can use this on all your evergreens instead of using your plant tones. So like I said, like if you can get your hands on all three of these products, great. But if you can only get your hands on one of these products, that will work as well. So it says on here, better blooms and foliage, long-lasting, slow release, for acid-loving plants as well. Oh, and here's where it says, on this one, it says that it's good for rhododendrons, camellias. I have a couple of camellias, so I will throw this on there. I probably would have used my rose tone, but I'll put this on my camellias now. It says, oh, and hydrangeas as well. Who would have known? So I think some hydrangeas that are the pink and the purple, the micro, how do you say that? Microphalgia, whatever, you know what I mean. Those ones that love the shade that are pink and purple, they like a little bit more acid loving too. So on the back, it gives you a little bit more different plants as well. Amaryllis, aster, azaleas, bleeding heart, blueberry, camellias, dogwood, evergreens, ferns, gardenia. It just goes on and on. There's probably about 20 or 25 different acid-loving plants that are on here. Oak, spruce, rhododendrons, raspberries, magnolia. I have magnolia, so I could use this on my magnolia tree as well, and then hydrangeas. So I don't know. So I have lots of different plants that I can use this for. So like I said, I only have like a bucket, a cup. Doesn't smell great, so I have my gloves. I have a watering container so I can water some of it in, and then after I put it down, I like to just use my rake just to kind of mix it in with the mulch as well. And I'm not going to put it at the trunk of the tree or plant. I'm going to put it around the perimeter, which is considered your canopy of the tree. So let's get to mulching. Oh, we're not going to mulch. So let's get to fertilizing. So of course, each plant can take about a cup, right? So this is probably 2 cups maybe. Of course, I can't fill that all the way up. So that might be about 2 cups. So I'm just gonna like put this around the base of the plant right here. Honestly, it's pretty hard to put this cup into this bag, so I'm going to go grab my bucket. I'm just gonna pour all this bag into here because I'm gonna use every bit of it. Makes it a little bit more manageable. Ready to get around the thing. No. If you like to, you can go ahead and give it a little bit of water just to kind of water it in. We are supposed to get some rain this week, but this will prevent Sasha from wanting to get into it. You see that new growth on these hydrangeas? You see that? Look, how exciting. New growth. Yay. So on these roses right here, these are my Gabriel Oak. I have 5 of these in there, and I just put them at the base or the canopy, as you would say, and I just mixed it in with that really good compost that I had from Land and Sea that I put down earlier. So if you don't have a good compost on your roses as well, you can also put some compost and then mix some of this in there as well. All right, so I just put that whole bag of rose tone on my little lime hydrangeas. Now this is my Nellie Stevens holly that's right here, and I pruned this into like a little topiary. So that's an idea if you guys like this tree right here. So it's just a holly. It is a Nellie Stevens. Nellie Stevens usually do get quite large, but the only thing that I did was take all the lower limbs off and then pruned this up with the pruners. That's all I did. So took a chance and it looked great. So, well anyways, holly tone goes on hollies. So I'm gonna rip the bag open. I'm going to pour this whole thing here in my bucket so I can have easier access to it. Yes, I'm going to need a shower when I'm done with this. I'm trying to get it done. And it's a really good idea to go ahead and try to do this right before rain. That way the rain will like soak it in. You don't have to water it. We're supposed to get rain in a couple of days, but it is supposed to get cooler also. So that's what the fertilizer looks like. I'm just going to take my cup and do a great big scoop. And then this is the perimeter of the tree right here. So this is where the roots are. You don't want to put it all up against the trunk right there because that's not where your roots are. Your roots are at the canopy of the tree. This is a good sized tree, so I'm going to use at least 2 cups. And then once I get this down onto the ground, and then I'm just going to kind of mix it in here. Hollies are kind of prickly, so might want to be careful. And here in the south, we have to watch fire ants too. And yes, even in March, I've already seen fire ants. Not a friend of mine. And also when you're mulching, make sure you keep the mulch away from the trunk of the tree. You never want to pile mulch up to like this. Your tree will die from that. So this tree is my Oakland holly, and this was the one that had chlorosis. I do ultrasound, so I had to be really careful not to say cirrhosis. It had chlorosis. You can see that it is dark green down here at the very bottom. And I've already treated this last year a couple times with the iron tone. So you can see it's real dark green, and then up here it's kind of like lighter. So it's really weird. You put the iron tone down at the base of the tree, that's where your roots are, and that's where it's going to soak it up, and then it just kind of builds its way up to the tree. So this is a holly, so I'm going to use holly tone. And the same thing, just going to put it at the base and then kind of work its way in. And lastly, plant tone for these cryptomera trees that I have behind me. You guys, these trees have done absolutely great. They're going on 4 years now, and they probably have tripled in size. You're in the way. Hey, you're in the way. I told you she loves this stuff. You gotta watch her. Yes, you do. You gotta watch her. No. Of course, these trees are quite large, so I'm giving them more than a cup, probably about 3 cups. And of course, these evergreens, any kind of evergreen you can use this plant tone on. Like I said earlier in my video, These are sprinter boxwoods, and I have used these as hedges. I have about 80 plants in this location, and you guys, I feel like this is my favorite shrub. This shrub has outperformed like every expectation that I have. It is soft, it's full. You can keep it anywhere between 2 to 4 feet tall. I try to keep it at my knee length, which is right at 2 feet tall. These have been in the ground probably going on 3 years now, and like they've already made a hedge. So I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. So plant tone for these sprinter boxwoods. How are you doing, Sasha? All right, guys, so I have more fertilizing to do, but I hope that I demonstrated enough in this video for you to see like how I actually fertilize. So I have probably maybe one more bag of plant tone that I need to use, and I might have to get a couple more because I have all that side garden and the front garden that I haven't done yet. So kind of underestimated how much fertilizer that I need, but it's worth it. So like I said, I'm running out of light tonight. I work full time, so this is what I had to do when I came home because I want to try to get it done. It's supposed to rain Thursday, and I really want this to get soaked down into the ground and have a great benefit for this fertilizer to be already on the ground when it starts to warm up in the temperatures of 70. That is when this fertilizer is really going to start being active and give these shrubs and plants what they need, so which is food. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.